Awesome. Thank you, Bill. It's great to be here. It's easy to forget how much you love being at things like this, just walking through the room and getting to see folks that you haven't seen in way too long. So thank you for being here, especially on the first kind of real big storm that's come through. I told my wife, I was like, oh, come on. I'm finally getting the chance to do this with folks again, and it's going to rain, and everyone's going to say, why would I leave the house today? But you did. So thank you for coming and being here. I also was telling a few folks, I hate having paper, so I apologize, but sometimes you just got to go old school to keep the stuff around. So appreciate you coming out. For this event, when we first started talking about it, the initial inclination was to make it an AI event. I kind of responded and I said, can we not? And I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to talk a lot about AI today, but it's not all about AI. Right? It's all about how we solution problems, and that's something new that we're talking about now, but there's new stuff coming out every single day that we want to talk about. Quantum computing we're going to be talking about soon, right? We're still talking about blockchain and how do we apply those things. And so as you listen today and you think about how you take this back to your job, like today was not just an AI day. Today is about how do we leverage technology, new and old, to be honest, to really drive the changes that we're all trying to drive in what we do. So, when we think about these things, not just AI, but all the technologies, some of them are exciting, some of them are intriguing, some of them are scary, but no matter where you fall along that spectrum, I find that one of the biggest challenges is figuring out how do you respond to those feelings, to those technologies, to those challenges? How do you wrap your head around what to do? And especially with some of these things like generative AI that are literally changing what is possible. Questions that we had stopped asking because we couldn't address them, we now need to re-ask because there are things that we can do that we didn't know we could do. That's hard to wrap your head around. And that's why we've got this amazing group of folks who've offered to be here to have these discussions about how do you do that? How do you wrap your head around that? And so we hope that you not just enjoy listening to that, but join us on the journey of really envisioning the future that all of us in this room can work together to make. So I couldn't resist nerding out a little bit as you think about the risks that go with a lot of the discussions we're having. In the words of Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that applies greatly to what each and every one of us does every day. At CalHHS, as we think about generative AI, emerging technologies, all of these things, the fundamental principle that comes from the top with Secretary Galley down through every individual is equity. Every single conversation we have, we bring back to equity because that's what it's about for us, serving the individuals who need those supports that we provide. And so Dr. Galley talks all the time about we want to raise all ships, but some ships we want to raise more than others. And so when we think about generative AI and the possibilities, we think about addressing historical inequities, biases, inclusion issues. But those technologies run at least an equal chance of making those worse as they do at helping us make them better. So when we think about what we want to do at CalHHS, we view our role as figuring out how do you use technology to do good? How do you take it to address those inequities? How do you take it to not just avoid proliferating historical biases, but counteract them? And so I challenge all of you as you think about this, don't just think about how can I use these cool tools, think about how can you use them to do good? How can you use them to drive equity in the programs that you drive on behalf of the state, being a partner with the state? I challenge you all to take that on. And so, just like we always say, don't build technology for the sake of technology. It's about the program. It's about the solutions. When we think about those emerging technologies, think about what you're trying to do with it, not just the cool new thing that it is. And CalHHS, next month we're going to be releasing a new IT and data strategic plan. And that plan is going to be rooted in the priorities, the programmatic priorities that the Secretary has set. And so when we release that, you'll be able to pull it up and look at it, and you'll see that the whole first half of the document isn't talking about technology. When we talk about our digital ecosystem, we're talking about the programs that we provide and trying to articulate the role that technology and data play in facilitating that vision, that mission, succeeding in addressing those priorities. And so we're going to be working on building tools and systems that are focused on whole person care. We're going to be looking at the horizontal opportunities, getting away from siloed program by program solutions so that we can look at data and actually understand the populations. Where are those inequities? Where have those biases created structural issues that we need to address? So we're not just guessing, we're actually using that data across programs, matched to the individual, to do those things. And I challenge everyone to do the same. We also are focused on improving accessibility to our services so that everyone can get the help they need, when they need it, how they need it, regardless of status, background, language, ability, all of those things. And that's something that we all need to do together, right? That's not a CalHHS thing. Every one of us provides services across California. That accessibility is key and something that we all need to take on together. So I encourage you to take a look at that plan when we release it next month. Reach out. I'd love to engage with anyone about how you can play a role as we drive towards those things like equity and using technologies to do that.